Blair Thomas and Magic. Subscribe now, watch us live lavish. We got Brooks, now we live and we bringing major vibes. Up City and Alliance, we taking off flying high. Follow us now.
What's going on, everybody? It is the Obsidian Alliance. I am Magic.
The Blair Thomas.
All right. And today, well, first things first, it's been a long time.
It's been a minute.
It has. Don't forget
I have hair now.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We really do still appreciate the support that y'all been giving us. We've been seeing a few new subscribers here and there. We do appreciate y'all joining us for this. But today is a day that may live in infamy, as a famous quote once said, because the MCU hangs in the balance with one particular franchise, the Black Panther franchise, because it starts setting the stage now, of course. No Way Home just pretty much premiered last night and tonight, things of that nature. Don't worry, we will not talk about that at all. We will probably have
next week, maybe we'll talk about it next week.
But we've had, for phase 4, we've had the TV shows WandaVision, Loki, Black Captain America or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We currently have Hawkeye. And now in the movie realm, we've had Black Widow, 10 Rings, Shang-Chi, or Shang-Chi, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and The Legend of the 10 Rings. And now we have, of course, Spider-Man with the Multiverse of Madness. But now heading into 2022 and 2023 is pretty much the blockbuster set of phase 4. This is where everything from Thor 4, Love and Thunder, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is coming out later after that, Black Panther 2, Blade, and we're pretty much getting Morbius, and we're getting set up pretty much for the Fantastic Four and the X-Men coming in the next 4 to 5, even 6 years. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your eyes open. Pay attention. I need y'all to pay attention to everything, not just the movies, to the shows, end credit scenes. You try to put this puzzle together without paying attention, you're going to be going everywhere. The multiverse is now open. Different timelines are now open. So if you are not paying attention, you will be lost.
Pretty much. Now, with Black Panther, the legacy of T'Challa hangs in the balance, of course, for those of you that have possibly been living under a rock. Miss Leta Wright, who played Shuri, is, well, let's just get the facts out the way. She's an anti-vaxxer. Anti-vaxxer. She's had serious injury, and everything has been delayed so much because of her that Black Panther 2 itself might be delayed. In which also there's been rumors of her leaving the MCU, and she's tired of the MCU altogether. So now, with that surfacing, and also T'Challa's brother in the news with TMZ stating that his brother would want T'Challa to be recasted. Now, us as a people, we have a dilemma. And the dilemma is, should we recast T'Challa now? Or should we wait, let Leta Wright, Shuri have her shine, and then move forward? Now, the Blair Thomas and I have different opposite views on this sort of thing. He says, give Shuri her shine, and then in the next movie do so. And I have been saying, and he can attest to this, since day fucking one, when Chadwick Boseman passed, they should have immediately tried to recast him. Now, go ahead with your points, Blair, on why such and such should have her time, or your stance on things.
Well, most people don't know this. Or about me. I was an avid comic reader. Now I fell off. And to be completely honest with you, I was not that educated on Black Panther. But ever since the movie came out, I've been doing more research. And also thanks to Mr. Magic here, who has educated me on a few things. Appreciate that. It has come to my attention that Shuri being Black Panther is comically, going by, the comics, it's a correct storyline. Now, am I saying that she needs to stay that? Like, as in going forward, it's just her? No, I don't mind that it would just be one movie. I don't even care at the end of that movie, you have her replacement. Fine. The reason why I want to see it is because one, it's a new, fresh direction. I'm not saying that we can wait 4 or 5 more years to recast it. Of course not. I just think it's a bit fresh. Yes, the king has been laid to rest. Rest in paradise, Chadwick Boseman. I understand that he might even, I think during his life, he was probably even sick of the role. I've heard that many times. So recasting I'm not against it. But I do believe that it needs to be done with care. And to be completely honest, I mean, I and maybe just because I don't know any upcoming artists or not artists, actors who have the charisma it takes. Because even me and Magic have discussed, Chadwick wasn't a perfect T'Challa, but he did get the job done. He got the job done. So now the only way we can go is up. We have to go up from where we were. I don't want to go down. So you're saying, okay, people want a new, fresh actor. Okay, well, a new, fresh actor with not that much experience, are they really going to portray T'Challa in the right light? Is the story going to add up? I understand right now honestly, right now, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have something at the end of the movie going in any direction, because the multiverse is open. You could literally, there could be 10 different options. But I think it's important for Shuri to get her shine, because it's like the final closing of the Chadwick chapter. It's a nice sum up. It's great. It would be great for the fans. And then we can just start anew. I just want a proper closing of the Chadwick chapter. That's all I want. And if I get that, go ahead, recast them next year, or come out with the recast now, but also let me know, hey, yeah, we recast them, but so far for Black Panther 2, sure, we got her. She's going to do it. And then we got the person going forward. Introduce them. That's fine. I want the proper closing to that man's chapter, because I think that's the least we could do. Because to be completely honest, for the heroes that didn't really die, they got a proper closing. And now with them not being actually passed, with the multiverse open, there's possibility. Like I said, the possibilities are endless now. We have the multiverse that have been opened from 3 different angles now. Loki opened it via time. Doctor Strange opened it via the multiverse and magic. And then we have, Wanda over here opening different realities. It's a field day out here. You could pull a hero out of your behind right now, and guess what? It would make sense. It wouldn't make sense. So yes, recast, fine, do it. Just close the Chadwick chapter properly, pay homage, and move forward. That's all I want.
You could pay homage to that man in the first 5 minutes of the film. They have been paying this man homage since he died. They have been paying that man homage since he died. The paying homage was them saying, well, we're not going to never recast Chadwick. We're not going to never recast T'Challa. That was their paying homage. And now, since instead of ripping the Band-Aid off and doing it in the first place, now we got this problem. And the thing about this is the fact of now, if you do it, is now seen out of desperation because Lita might leave. This is the problem. You should have did it in the beginning when you had an opportunity to do it. And now it's got to be like, oh, now we got to handle it with care because the fan base is going to get mad and we might lose money.
Well, there's a fail safe with the losing money thing.
Well, of course, it's Black Panther always make money, but my thing is, MCU fans, I need you to pick up a comic book. I need you to pick up a comic book because T'Challa in the comics is a defining force in Marvel. The man has pretty much cosmic fucking awareness.
He's Batman done right. A black Batman done right.
And Shuri is a goddess in her own right. Literally a Wakandan goddess that can control the elements and other things such as the dead too. Since, you know, used to be a Black Panther. They helped with that. So my thing is that while Shuri might be on the ropes or not, now is the time to recast. And not only is now the time to recast, since Black Panther 2 might be delayed because of her anti-vaxxer antics, you might as well, because the thing is, let's just say we go with Blair Thomas's idea of the whole recasting him and recasting him, and then we're still going with Shuri. We have so many MCU movies down the pipe, it's going to take 6 years to see this T'Challa, and it might not work. So it is now time to get him recasted, and you introduce this T'Challa like you did the first one in an act cameo. Because he was only in the second and third act of Civil War. It's not like he was there in the beginning. His father was the thing in the beginning. And then the United Nations thing happened. And then that's when you saw him become the Black Panther. For that second and third act, you saw that. Now you do the same thing for this T'Challa. You get him, you let Shuri have her moment. Fine. You wanna close out the Chadwick Boseman chapter, whatever the case may be. You want to give her little shine. Fine. You give her an hour. You give Chadwick Boseman 10 minutes and you give Shuri an hour. That's fine. But you need to establish that T'Challa is king. You need to establish this new T'Challa, because if you don't establish this new T'Challa, the fans are not, you have to rip the Band-Aid off for the MCU fans, because if you don't and you try to pander to these people, or if you try to butter them up with some bullshit, they're going to reject it. They're going to hate it, because these aren't comic book fans. These are moviegoers, and it's a different atmosphere.
Mind you, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that too. Like, I'm real like it it's very funny to me because I see it a lot online how many of you have an opinion about the MCU when I could have sworn, especially the people that I follow, had a lot of negative comments about superhero stuff. It was just for children. Now all of a sudden y'all feel so strongly. I thought y'all didn't. I thought this was child's. I thought this was for kids. Why you feel so strongly now? It's so funny that it's like almost what used to be not cool, and now it's been made cool. Like, but the funny thing is, if y'all would just, like Magic said, pick up a comic book, you would have known all these amazing things about us. About us. Had you just picked up a book. But you don't. But back to what we were talking about. It's the way you're putting it is, I think, is what I have a problem. The way you're putting this is like, oh, okay, I'm gonna give Sherry her little shine. She's not no 12-year-old like little girl.
Bruh, like
give
come
her
on.
a little bit of shine, and we're gonna give him this 5 minutes.
Because
bro.
The reason why is because if it wasn't for Chadwick dying, she would only have a little bit of shine anyway. Or she would have maybe a possibly bigger thing than she had then. Like the thing that you would acknowledge is probably the thing that they're going to acknowledge is the fact that Shuri held it down for 5 years while T'Challa was dusted, and she had
She was dusted too, though.
No, she wasn't. I thought she was good.
Only Okoye survived.
Oh. So M'Baku held it down. Which brings it to another thing. So now we got to figure out, like I said, if Shuri gets her shine, it's going to be for an hour. Because more than likely, like I said, they're going to recognize her, whatever the case may be, blah, 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 blah. And Chadwick gets his 10 minutes.
How long is this movie?
This movie is 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Give Shuri an hour and 15 and then give Chadwick 15 and I'll be all right.
No, that's too long.
No, it's not. It's literally just 15 more minutes.
No. Chadwick has been getting his flower. He's literally been getting his flowers in other movies. Like Chadwick has been getting his shine, his flowers. He's getting his flower. Any black movie that's come out in the past like years some change that has a Chadwick symbol somewhere on it. That Wild West, I forget the name of that Wild West movie.
The Harder They Fall.
The Harder They Fall, the train that they're on, Chadwick Boseman. Like, no. Do a little tribute for the man. Call it a day. It's time to anchor. And the reason why I say that is because you need to hurry up and pass this torch. The man is gone. Rest in power, Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther. He is gone. It is time to move on.
Absolutely. I didn't disagree.
So
I disagree
give him.
I disagree with your time breakdown.
No,
that's all.
Give him. Nope. Give that man. In fact, do like you did Stan Lee. Have his thing come up in the Marvel intro. You want to get a man the flowers? Then you do that. Do like you did Stan Lee when he passed away. You have all the Stan Lee cameos or Stan Lee things coming through the Marvel Studios logo. Do the same thing with Chadwick. Have all of his Black Panther moments, including the what if Chadwick Boseman, what if Black Panther when he did with Chadwick Boseman. You have that in there too. That's your tribute. Now we move on. You give Shuri an hour as a recognition of her holding it down, things of that nature, and you move on. It's like no. And especially she should only get an hour because of the bullshit she's pulling now. Like
because she's
no.
Hey, look, we can get into the politics of the needle later. The point of the matter is, I don't think it's a big deal to give her another 15 minutes.
I do.
Why?
Because you already have, like, let's just say, for example, this thing is introducing the dynamic of M'Baku possibly having to hold the reins, since both of them were apparently dusted. Then M'Baku holding the reins, recognizing Shuri, Black Panther T'Challa, and possibly Namor. Like, that's a whole lot of character stuff to be fitting in 2 hours, 30 minutes, especially since this is going to be Namor's first time in the MC in a Marvel movie. Now that I think about it.
Well, is that confirmed that Namor is the villain? Is that confirmed?
We don't know yet, but more than likely everything leads towards it. Because
what about
in Endgame they mentioned earthquakes below the sea.
Okay, but we've been doing a lot of magic. What about Brother Voodoo?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Not to mention, we got Riri. We got Riri Williams in Black Panther 2. My bad. So now we got M'Baku, Shuri, T'Challa, Chadwick, Namor possibly, and Riri Williams. And the rebuilding of Wakanda. We got at least 6 characters or six pieces of the puzzle we got to fit in a 2 hour and 30 minute.
First of all, don't include Riri. She could be an end credit scene. Come on.
Man, she is not going to be no end credit scene. If she was mentioned by name and by damn that they mentioned her, that she was going to be in the movie, she is not going to be no end credit scene. And you know this. She is probably going to have an essential part in this movie.
I guess
she gets. I'm being gracious enough for her to have an hour.
Gracious, bruh. Stop it! Like, it's not called being gracious. She is a very important part of she is woven into that country. She's a very important, influential person in Wakanda.
Not higher than T'Challa.
Of course, I didn't say she was higher than him. But honestly, this is really Disney's fault. Because to be completely honest with you, we should be looking at a Black Panther 3. Or at least gotten a short film. Hell, Disney Plus was your prime opportunity to make a Wakanda-based show. And have her be at the forefront with her inventions. It could have been about her finding out who else was working with Ulysses Claw and her uncle to steal the vibranium. It could be about her learning more about her past, learning more about the traditions, all that stuff. You could have made. Hell, you've been giving everything else 5, 6, 7 episodes. Why couldn't you just give her that? And I wouldn't even have her.
To be fair, we had Civil War, then we had Black Panther in 2018, then we had Infinity War, then we had Endgame, and all that takes time to prepare and film and things of that nature. And then of course Chadwick Chadwick passes in 2020. Like, and the pandemic. Like,
I understand. I'm not saying I hear you, bro. I'm not saying that I don't want Chadwick to be recast. I'm not Chadwick to be recast. I'm not saying that because it's just impossible to have an MCU without him. It's just not gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. And if it does happen, they're gonna lose. Well, I mean, no offense to them, they'll lose all the fake fans, so that might be a plus. But Anyway, I think it's just because you gave so many other. Ooh, I don't want to use the word irrelevant. I don't want to use the word irrelevant, but
the thing is with them, it's like
if Hawkeye and Loki can have a show, why can't Shuri? You can't make up 6 or 7 episodes.
but because they already have the MCU has a plan in motion. That's the thing. Like you have to follow Kevin Feige is the head at Marvel, and he's the one that sets up all the shows and all the movies and how it's going to flow and things of that nature. So no, Shuri can't have her own show. Sorry, we're setting up for the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in 5 years. Like there is no
more like 4, honestly.
More than likely. And think about it. We got, like I said, in just this year alone, WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Hawkeye. No, before then, Venom, Hawkeye, Spider-Man. Just in this year, we've had 7 if you don't include Venom. 7 Marvel properties that have come out in this time frame alone. And I think next year, is about another good 6 to 7 that are coming out.
I understand that, but Marvel and Disney, they're not dumb. They've had backups on top of backups on top. Honestly, you know what the funny thing is? You know, you compare the Disney company to, you can compare them to Batman. Batman got plans A through Z. I know for a fact. And you can't convince me otherwise that they don't have backup plans in place. They most certainly do. And what I'm saying is, I think they could have just been a little bit more creative. Not to say, not even to, rag on my man Hawkeye. I know people like him. I understand he's, whatever, an original, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, guy with the arrow, Legolas. But anyway, the point of the matter is touching more on Wakanda. Besides, yes, I know they got a little bit of shine in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but whatever. Well, I'm just saying, if you can make up 6, 7 episodes, 8, 9 episodes of Hawkeye, I know you could have made up something about that. And yes, I get it. I understand we have a formula to follow, but let's not act like we really know what that formula is. A week prior to the release of, what you call it? What was it? Like a week prior to the release of Endgame, Chadwick Boseman was still walking around saying, I don't know why you asking me questions because I'm dead. Meanwhile, he's in the last hour of the movie.
I'm sorry, I forgot. The Marvel What If series came out. So that's 8 to 9 Marvel properties that came out.
I know. I get it. I know. But I'm just saying, you know what? Okay. Just close it out properly. Just make it look nice. That's all I ask. Give me, okay, fine. You want not an hour and 15. Can I get an hour and 5? Can we make an argument for that? I can't get an hour and 5. No. I can't get 65 minutes.
No.
Why? Tell me why.
Like I said,
I just cut 10 minutes off.
No. In fact, Chadwick gets his tribute in the Marvel logo and Shuri gets her hour.
Bro.
Gets her hour.
Give her 5 more minutes, bro.
No.
Why? Why?
No. No, she don't like, because like I don't know, people gonna be like, it's so sexist.
It's not about being sexist, but just bro, she's never gonna get it again. She's never gonna get it again. Just give her 65 minutes, bro. Just let her have it.
No, because you need to establish T'Challa coming back as soon as possible. And you need to establish who is the villain of the movie as soon as possible. Shuri's going to get her shine in the first act of the movie. She's going, heck, you don't have to do the first act. You could give her the second act of the movie. But that third act better establish who's the villain, and T'Challa coming back, who you recasted as T'Challa. Because like I said, if you don't establish who is T'Challa, nobody's going to be waiting 5 to 6 more years for you to do this recasting.
But sir, if I can meet you at the common ground saying, you know what, you're right, it has to be done sooner rather than later. Why can't you give me my 65 minutes, bro? Why? Why can't you just give me my 65 minutes? Just extend the movie. Extend it. Extend it 10 more minutes. Make it, instead of, you said 2 hours and 30 minutes, make it 2 hours and 45 minutes, bro. And just let her have her 65 minutes. Please. Let her have her 65.
Why do you want her to have her 65 so bad?
Why don't you? Why are you trying? Because okay, you know what? I'll tell you why. I want at least 2 authentic action scenes with her in it. 2.
Okay. I give you that.
With Marvel, you know how hard that is, because they like to focus on 7 freaking things at once. So, 2 authentic action scenes. And I'm not talking about 2 minute, 3 minute. I want, since you know what? You can make one longer than, I don't care if you split it up 30, 35, whatever. I want 65 minutes and fine. Close it out. You get your new, fine. 65 minutes. Let me get my 2 action scenes. Authentic, lengthy action scenes. Please and thank you. And I'll leave it alone. The
only thing that we're going to agree on is the fact that she gets at good action scenes. I will agree with you on that. Good action scene. Fine. Coronation action scenes. That still can only take an hour.
I'm giving it 65 because I think it should be a little bit more. But fine. Close it out. But if I don't get that, then I am going to be disappointed. Because, and it's not about being sexist. I don't give a damn that Shuri's a woman. It's about her impact. She is a key role in T'Challa's story in Wakanda. You don't have half of the inventions you guys they have without her.
Yes and no.
I get it. Yes, I know that T'Challa is not a pushover. I know he invented his own science. I know. But the point of the matter is, let's stop pretending that she is not in the same laboratory as him, probably working harder than him at the inventions because he is out fighting the fight. I want that person to have a proper closeout, and I want it to be done right. Then you can put it to bed and we can all move forward with our lives.
Like I said, and you can get that done in an hour.
I'm still sticking with 65 minutes. that is what I am doing. You know what? You don't want to waver on some things. I'm not wavering on that. It's 65 minutes for me, 2 action scenes, paying homage to T'Challa, making it known that Shuri is a key role, and not just having her say 6 sentences in Civil War and Infinity War, and having her just say "Ibombe" in Endgame.
The only reason why I probably give 65 minutes is probably because they're gonna do a 2 to 3 minute. Because the thing is, I wanted to just be done in the intro, but lo and behold, probably Marvel is gonna be like, "Oh, rest in peace," like fine, 65 only because the T'Challa tribute is gonna take like 5 minutes because of Marvel doesn't want to let it go.
You want them to let go the person that made them $2 billion?
Yes.
You funny, bro. You want them to let go of the person who funded phase 5? You want them to let go of that?
Yes.
The person who funded everything you just named?
Yes.
Come on, son.
Yes. Because he's gone. He is gone.
Eric, we get it. Mr. Magic, we get it. He's gone. He's dead. Fine. I just want the chapter to be closed right. Like any other pain. No. A sequence, that's not even enough to pay homage to Stan Lee. He should have gotten more. Because without him, none of this is possible. So I'm glad they gave him more. I'm glad. Now, am I saying that we got to sit here in the first 20 minutes of the movie watching clips of them doing the stunts? No. Give him his 2, 3, 4 minutes and then just move on. It won't even seem like that because of how Marvel is aesthetically pleasing to the senses. You're not even going to realize it. You're going to be like, all right, cool, move on, next.
I'm going to have a stopwatch.
Are you serious, bro?
No, I am so sick of this shit. Like, I really am. Like, I am so sick of it. Like, I am I'm so sick of her. I'm sick of, like, when Chadwick died, it was a blow. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a blow to the Black moviegoer. It was a blow possibly to the MCU. It was a blow possibly to Black Panther. I get it. I do not take lightly the gravity of Chadwick Boseman's death. However, when you started to try to bury a character's legacy that is far beyond any actor, regardless of how okay or decent or good they played that role, is when I started to have a problem. Because you tried to it made me even more upset because of the simple fact that any of these white characters can get these recast and it can go just as smoothly. But yet the one Black character, in fact, the one famous, influential Black character, is the one you want to try to bury. And to the Black people that was agreeing with that bullshit, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Knowing you actually, once again, pick up a goddamn comic book, you would see that T'Challa is integral into the Marvel universe as a whole. This man has...
We're not going to get into these. But we agree. That's where we agree. You're right. You are right, sir.
And I'll say that, and that's the reason why, like, and that's why we'll always have such a disagreement on this, is because I've been spurned from the moment they tried to bury the character. That is when I have been spurned. I have been vexed. I have been angry because you literally tried to, instead of just ripping the Band-Aid off and just saying, rest in peace, T'Challa, give him his flowers, since you should have officially gave him his final flowers during his final performance in the Marvel What If, which technically you did at the end of the episode. You should have just left it there. And then, okay, we're doing Black Panther 2. And then she goes off on her little crazy tangent. As soon as you found out, because as we know, Disney doesn't play about their money. Disney doesn't play about shit being on time. If Disney has a timetable to keep, they will get rid of whoever the fuck they need to get rid of and put that person into place to make sure this movie comes out on time. But for some reason, when Lita Wright was on this needle crap, you didn't decide to be like, oh, well, shit, we can get another Shuri. Fuck it. Or we would get rid of her, put in T'Challa, and say Shuri went on some fucking mission or whatever the case may be, or what, since y'all want to be on some bullshit, and then you recast Lita later.
You don't know why white characters are recasted so quickly?
Why?
It's because white people are more comfortable with change than we are.
Well, that is very true.
And granted, I see where our people are trying to do, because they're not looking at it like me and you are. They're looking at it as the man had cancer and gave us 5 movies. The man was battling cancer and he still smiled. He still showed up for work. He still tried to do the stunts. Falling asleep because of his doctor's appointments and everything at press conference. Being chewed apart on Twitter for losing weight and looking sickly by the very people he tried to inspire. So, yes, some of our brothers and sisters have kind of put their foot in their mouth. And am I saying that it ain't time? I'm not saying that. But because of his influence, like you said, we ain't, no offense to him, sorry, we ain't talking about no Luke Cage. We ain't talking about no Miles Morales.
Even though they're influential in their own rights.
They are. We're talking about the king. We're talking about the king. And as you said, you can't have an MCU without him. You're absolutely right. I will agree with you on that. But to say, this is just my opinion, to say that, okay, yeah, just close it out and just move on and just find somebody. Nah. Honestly, they need to take very great care about who they cast. It doesn't need to be taken lightly, sir, because everything you just said tells me that I should take care. Because think about it. If I'm in charge of the most influential Black person ever hit cinema, do you think I should just pick somebody? No. I need to look this over. I need to think about this. This needs to be one of the most conscious cognitive decisions I have made when it comes to making movies. Now, like we said, we're going to go ahead and give it the 65 minutes. And I will go ahead and say that you're right. Yes. Do most of us need to pick up a comic book? Yeah. But they're not going to, sir. The things we're into, it's just the hype for right now. Disney has launched the superhero movement. It's been launched. We ignited it. They use the gasoline from people like us because we understand and we did the research. But like we know, sir, not a lot of our people care to dive into it because they think it's all childish and there's no lessons to be learned or there's no hidden message. But for people like me and you who dig deeper into what we read, knowing that it's not just some BS about a black guy in a suit fighting aliens or white men or raising the dead and playing with Infinity Stone. It goes way beyond that. And for those of you out there watching this who think that Marvel, DC, or any comic book company does not hide messages in their work, you are fooling yourself. You are fooling yourself, and you need to take the veil off of your eyes quickly. Because the lessons that you learn in life, 9 times out of 10, probably came from a book, show, influenced around the people, and those people were influenced by shows and books they read.
Every MCU has a message. Every superhero movie has a message, but especially in the MCU, every single MCU movie has a message or a story that it wanted to tell. Black Panther is a perfect example. The American Black radicalism versus the African isolationist. That is the whole plot of Black Panther. What would happen if one of our own came home after being influenced by American imperialism? That's the whole message.
Some of y'all need to go back and watch some of the movies. I had to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier twice, just so I can get a few bit more of them key points. It's not that I didn't hear them the first time, but once you hear it once, and then you hear it again, it's just like, we're not really talking about that shield, are we? We're not really talking about that super soldier serum, are we? Exactly. But back to our point, Mr. Magic, I will give it to you. Does the Chadwick chapter need to be closed? Yes. Yes, it does. Do we need to cast sooner rather than later? Yes. Yes, we do. Now, here's the thing about that. What I want going forward with T'Challa, I want an African actor. And there's plenty of them. I want someone with an authentic African accent. And I guess if we're going to go with young T'Challa, because I mean, Chadwick wasn't terribly old. So if we're going to do that, but then again, it might not matter what age group you use because the multiverse is open. You want to pull out Grandpa T'Challa, you can if you want to. I mean, it's up to you. But I just want the same level of care that all other characters were given. Like you said, if you want to watch the Marvel casting process, it's fascinating. Iron Man said a sentence and got that role because he was born to play it. They didn't even finish the skit. They said, you know what? We've heard enough. You're it. You're Iron Man. You're Tony. Hell, even some of the cartoons are starting to look like him now. the comic book version of him, it ain't that far off. It ain't. Some of these people.
My thing about Chadwick and his proper send-off, I know I've bladed into it and things of that nature and digged into it. I just feel like I feel like technically it was done with the last official voice that he played when he was T'Challa Star-Lord. The crazy ass concept. When he was T'Challa in space and he was able to convince Thanos, like, if that's a hell of a send-off. You were so badass that you convinced Thanos wiping away half the universe was wrong. You became Star-Lord and you did your thing and was the badass of the Guardians of the Galaxy and everything of that nature. You know, Nebula looked like herself. She wasn't half robotic and all this other stuff in the Marvel What If. And he was just a badass and he went out. And then, of course, after that, you had the credits roll. And of course, you did your thing for Chadwick. Of course, when he first passed away, you had that little memorial thing for him. You know, plenty of Black children, even though, Lord forgive me, it shouldn't have happened because they were intertwining Chadwick and the Black Panther. It just shouldn't have done. But regardless, you had your memorial for him. You had your perfect send-off. And from after the What If, you should have then moved forward. Because that is the last official time that we've heard his voice in an MCU fashion. And from that moment, you should have did the fans properly by giving him his final send-off. Not now. Now, as far as I know, he didn't do anything. In fact, while we still have a couple minutes, because we need to wrap this up. Let's see here. Did Chadwick Boseman do anything in Black Panther 2? Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Move, stupid thing. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. So, as far as I know, he didn't do any filming for it before, things of that nature. So, since he didn't do any filming, Marvel What If was the last thing we've heard of T'Challa. Should have did just send off then. All I'm saying. Now, before this one over here falls asleep, because he works 2 jobs.
I got 6 jobs. I don't get tired.
T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman, from the Obsidian Alliance to you. Rest in peace, King. But for the Blair Thomas, this has been Magic. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We do appreciate all the work. Once again, we will try to have a Spider-Man review sooner rather than later. Blair's already seen the movie. I will be seeing it on Sunday. So we'll try our best after that, things of that nature. And we'll try to do better on uploading videos. But until then, as always, if you need guidance, come seek the Alliance. Peace. Take care.